Hey everyone, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and we're back at the complex again. As many of you know, we left off last week with the tenant in number 3 having moved out, and we showed you that unit for the first time. We bought this property in May, which was about 5 months ago, and it had 4 tenants in it, and we've been trying to get some of those tenants out so we can remodel the place. We put a new roof on, did some new windows and some stuff, but obviously it needs a lot more work. And so we didn't see a lot of these units at all when buying it. That's why it's such a good deal. It's $550,000, which is a really good deal in our area. So you have the 5-unit apartment complex, the house right there, and then you've got another little house right here. And so that tenant moved out, which was great. We gave her $500 to leave her and end without an eviction. And the tenant number 2, who has given us a ton of problems, was supposed to be out today. So did she or did she not actually move? Well, you might get a hint because the door of the garage is open and you might see a lot of her stuff and trash out beside the unit, and there's some stuff out by the street. So yes, she is gone, and we get to see this property for the first time as well. Before we go in, of course, check out investformore.com for much more information on our flips, rentals, be an agent, all that great stuff as well. We have lots of books on Amazon, and my latest book on my crazy real estate stories, which this is one of the top in that book. I just finished the second draft, so hopefully in the next month or two, it'll be ready. But this is also the property where we had the 500 tire eviction, the small house behind us. That tenant never paid rent since we owned the place. He got evicted from a tire store, and then yes, he stored his 500 tires back here. And when we evicted him, we moved all of those tires into dumpsters out here and in the street over there. So we have that video if you guys want to see it, linked below in the description. That was a crazy video. Here's the beautiful shed. May have forgotten to show that. This property's had so many crazy stuff happen. Had squatters break into there. The tenants in number 2 tried to break into number 1. They're the only tenants left now, so we're still waiting to hear from them if they're going to move out. A lot of stuff. So here's the garage, which is huge and amazing. It's maybe, 10 feet wide by 14 feet deep. And you can see when this place was originally built, this was a carport or garage of some sort, and who knows, maybe it was for horses back then. Probably not. I think it was built in the 20s if I remember right. So they did have cars, but they probably had horses still too. But when I first bought this property, I did not even know this garage was here. I didn't see it. For some reason, there's so much other cool stuff happening at this property. And some of you guys on YouTube's mentioned, hey, what's in that garage? And I'm like, what garage? And so here we have the garage. And the tenant in number 2 here used it to store all her garage sale stuff. And then she'd have garage sales every weekend in that unit's yard out there on the corner. Even though she said she didn't know those people when they stored the tires in her yard back here. She claimed they wouldn't talk to her and she didn't know them. But yeah, we found out that was obviously not the truth. Lots and lots of crazy stuff has happened. So it's really, really nice to have this unit vacant. And we'll try and talk about some of the crazy stuff that's happened if I can remember it all. But here, we can look through and see what it looks like. It's not horrible. It smells kind of weird, but it could be way worse. And we already put in new windows for her because a lot of hers were plexiglass, or literally, I think this one right here was a car windshield for a window. The landlord who owned this place before was the definition of a slumlord and did all kinds of crazy stuff. So we gave her new windows, we fixed the roof so it didn't leak, and then she repaid us by just being absolutely crazy. So, and some of you might notice all the door stuff on the table. I actually installed that myself. So as soon as she moved out, we got the key from her, we changed the locks, and our other guys one is sick, one's out of town, other ones were unavailable. So I actually changed the locks myself. Look at me. And I got completely lucky. I didn't even think ahead of it for this. I was cleaning out my garage yesterday and had a bunch of stuff I meant to take to the office. Some real estate signs, some other stuff. I had a bag of garage or door handles and knobs. I have no idea what from. I stuck in my truck and we're here. I'm like, I think I actually have door handles in my truck, so yeah, things work out sometimes. Here we have the beautiful kitchen, which is actually better than the other kitchens in this place. The other units, except for the house, has a little bigger kitchen. The other ones have tiny, tiny kitchens, so this one has a little bit more room than the other units. All the rest are kind of one bedrooms with tiny little rooms and tiny little kitchens, and this one's a little better. So I think you can see the other units would end at this wall right here, and this one extends back a little farther. So it's bigger and so much nicer than the other ones. Look at this stove. Oh, I think in one of the other ones, their stove wasn't working, so they're literally cooking with a grill, and they may have been cooking inside with that grill. So just crazy. I mean, this panel is a little bit newer, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, who knows? Do we open the fridge? I mean, she was living here, so it shouldn't be like too disgusting. I've said that before, though. Oh, we have some leftovers. Sweet. And then here's the bathroom, which has a little bit more space than the other units as well. So this was like the high-end upgraded unit of this complex back in the day. Of course, it still has the plumbing on the outside of the walls, like the other units do too. But similar shower. This is what the other showers all looked like, and they were in similar condition as this as well. Sure, there's no mold behind those walls or anything. Oh, we have the front, the kitchen, your giant dining room right here. And then we have two back rooms. A room here. And, oh, it does have a closet. Look at that. I don't know if it'd have a closet. Not huge rooms. I mean, this is probably 8 by 10. But it has 2 bedrooms. The other ones all have 1. Well, that's not true. Unit number 3 that we went in kind of has 2 bedrooms, but neither one has a closet. And you can see, I sold that house a long time ago for $16,000 or something stupid. It's probably worth $300,000 now. Oh, some balloons. It may or not be hiding some mold behind them right there. All right, so that is the inside of the unit. We can get a peek of some of the outside here too. So what about the crazy story of this tenant? Oh, I don't even know where I want to tell this, but we'll tell you exactly everything she's done here. Okay, so first off, when we bought the property, she actually paid rent the entire time, had no problems there. She'd answer her phone. She didn't speak English very well, but we've had someone in her office who speaks Spanish, or she'd have someone translate if she wasn't in. So we communicated fine. She was okay. She paid rent. The problems came about when this tenant over here, found out he wasn't paying rent forever. We started the eviction, and then she started causing us issues because I think she's pretty good friends with them and didn't like that he was getting evicted. But she called us and said that she was getting in fights with the tenant number 2 who still lives here, and that we need to get rid of tenant number 2 and all this stuff. I'm like, we're sorry, we can't, intervene in tenant disputes like that, personal disputes. And then when the tires got dropped off here, which were dropped off right here in this side yard, I came over and I posted an eviction notice saying, hey, you have to move these tires. They can't be in your yard or else you're getting evicted. It's a fire hazard, violates your lease, all kinds of reasons. And she said, no, they're not my tires. The tenants in the other little house moved them in here. They won't talk to me. I've tried telling them to move them. They won't talk to me. They won't say anything to me. I don't want them here. I'm like, okay, I'm not sure about that. This whole back area was just filled with tires. And so a week later, right before the eviction, she comes into the office driving the tenants from the little house who stored all the tires back here to the office with her. She came to pay rent, and the other ones came to ask for more time and not to evict them. Didn't bring any money, never brought a dime. That's the only time we talked to them. But she was there in the car giving them a ride. So obviously, she talked to them, she knew them. So the eviction came, we did the eviction, and these tenants were hanging out with this tenant like the whole time. They're obviously good friends. And after the eviction, the tenant number 2 said that she saw those tenants who had been evicted staying over here. She thought they were living in this unit, and obviously we didn't want that. And so we offered $500 for all 3 tenants to move out. Their leases were month to month, so we could kick them out and evict them, but we wanted to avoid that, so we offered them $500. This tenant agreed, said she'd be out, but then we heard nothing for a few weeks, didn't know what was going on. So we called her and said, hey, what's going on? Why aren't you here? And she answered the phone and said, you have the wrong number, and hung up on us. So when that happened, I walked over, left a notice on the door, said, hey, here's your notice, you have to leave. For one, you can't have garage sales every week in the other tenant's yard out front there, who, that's not your property. You can't just have garage sales in our property. You have to clean up your yard, it's a mess. And then you can't have people living here who aren't on the lease. And so she came in like an hour or two later with a translator, came into the office, talked to me for like 30 minutes, told me all kinds of crazy stories about her, the tenant number 2, and her husband in number 2 had jealousy of this tenant in number 5, and that the tenant number 2 came over and punched her and hit her, but she had courage not to punch and hit her because she didn't want the police involved because of her legal status, and all kinds of craziness. So she said that the tenants who were evicted never lived here, never stayed here. And I said, well, we have pictures of their car and stuff here. Said, oh, well, they came over to babysit for a few hours at a time. So, but they weren't really living here. They just came over to babysit. So there's all kinds of shenanigans going on. But she came over, she said she's moving, and as soon as she said she's moving, I'm like, great, that's all we need. None of this other stuff matters. It doesn't matter what's wrong with the other tenants or any of this other stuff. If you're moving, we'll still give you $500. That's great. And she said, okay, I'll be out on Monday. Come meet me here at 11. So we came here, showed up, actually met a contractor to work on demoing some of the other units. And she wasn't here. So we could see all her stuff out there. And I peeked in the windows and it looked empty. The garage was open, it was empty. But she wasn't here, so we called her and she's like, oh, I'll be there in 20 minutes. So she showed up at 11:30, gave us the keys, changed the locks, and we're done. But I could not believe she just showed up late to get her check after she'd moved out. So I posted a poll on YouTube, a lot of you guys might have seen that asked, is she gonna move out? Is she not gonna move out? Is she gonna be here and pretend it didn't happen? Be here and ask for more time? None of those options were she's gonna move out and then not show up to get her money. That was not one that I thought would happen. But now we have another vacant unit. We can figure out what to do with all of them. And we're just waiting for number 2 to be vacant. But I think we can work on a lot of these other ones without number 2 being vacant. And then we can figure out, hey, do we want to add this garage, this space to another unit, make another bedroom? Maybe we make that a laundry room and add, I don't know. There's all kinds of ideas here, but we obviously don't want to spend a ton of money remodeling everything and rebuilding the whole place. The plan is to get it in decent shape, livable, get new tenants, and then sell it after that, hopefully for a lot more money than we bought it for, because there's been a lot of money that's going to go into this place. All right, so that's the next update on the complex. Hope you guys enjoy this crazy, dramatic TV series that we've created. Part of me has thought, hey, why sell it? Why not keep it so we can keep the TV series going? But I'm not sure if that's a smart idea. Hey, I never opened this. What is in here? A shoe? And a table and a belt. Okay, anyway. So thank you guys for watching. Love seeing the likes and the comments and all that, so keep those coming. Love seeing new subscribers. I know we've gotten quite a few from this series, so hopefully you're enjoying this and our other flips and rentals and advice videos, all that too. And of course, we've got Invest for More with tons of free information, free book on there as well. All right, we'll be back with much more from the complex soon with the other tenant, and then maybe some remodel and update videos as well as we fix this place up.